This is rental property investing. Discover how to create a profitable and long-term source of income through easy and replicable real estate strategies. Written by Chris Richards. Narrated by Brandon Keller.
Introduction. Through business papers, radio, and television, we constantly see news or analysis that has to do with real estate. You may be wondering why this is happening, and how can real estate be such a blooming and sure business despite the global economic crisis? The truth is that real estate is a sure investment despite the occasional downs it suffers. For instance, house flipping, which is the practice of buying real estate, improving it, and selling it again for a higher price, has been very popular throughout the past 10 years as an investment. However, it has been around for more than that. Would you believe me if I told you the practice of real estate investment dates back to the Revolutionary War? Even before that, we could imagine that cave drawings were a form of real estate investing. Even though Homo erectus did not rent out caves to other tribes, historians do maintain that a currency of exchange of sorts existed among the early humans for them to gain shelter. In various agrarian systems, fertile lands were marked by settlers, and those who were able to defend the land were able to keep it. As time passed, the system of tribal leaders was developed, and those who were appointed by the tribe could disperse lands, ask for payments, and settle disputes. When stronger tribal leaders emerged, strongholds were created as well as temples, irrigation channels, and farming methods were improved. This actually meant that farmers were then able to support more children, and thus the increase in fertility meant greater numbers of workers. On the other hand, families that were focused on hunting were able to support 2 children at best. The people who were hunters followed a tribal system too, but suffered because of uncertainty in life and scarcity. That was translated to them being able to support only 2 or 3 at most extended families. Farmers soon realized that they could not protect their tribe's territory effectively from raiders. For this reason, they sacrificed their tribe's community to gain the safety of numbers. They joined the protection of an army controlled by a king, and all paid homage to him who claimed the ownership of the land. This was the first system of rent in its most basic form. Those villages of farmers turned to cities, where the original leading families kept their ownership due to their right of lineage, since their ancestors were the ones who protected the tribe from raiders. The system that was then developed, labor in exchange for protection, was separated into 2 different systems in the majority of countries and included tenancy and taxes. The royal family gave to those who were loyal to them wealth, titles, and deeds to lands. Those deeds allowed those who had them to collect money from the subjects that lived there. Essentially, they collected rent. Aside from this rent, everyone that lived within the borders of a ruler's territory had to pay taxes. Various other demands were made by rulers, such as military service, and the people could rarely do something because those who governed did so not only by birthright, but also because of their strong military. Even though rulers could be overthrown by other kings and sometimes by the people, another would take the throne, and the average people, most times, would not notice anything different. However, things were not that bleak since they were able to indulge in trading with other kingdoms. As the level of wealth increased for the people too, a class of merchants was created that included specialized tradesmen and laborers who could make ends meet not through farming but through skill. As a result, shops, as well as houses, emerged that had nothing to do with farming that still paid the required taxes and rent to the landlords and kings. However, they were rented, bought, and sold among commoners, and not only by those who belonged to royalty. Rich merchants
Sample complete. Ready to continue?